cough in between. I could not sleep at night properly because of the cough. Okay, so we'll 618. I think that's the verse. Tasmat purvashva iha papa nishkritau yate mrityur avipadyatmana doshasya drishtva gurulaghavam yatha bhishak chikitseta rujam nidanavit. Therefore, before one's next death comes, as long as one's body is strong enough, one should quickly adopt the process of atonement according to Shastra. Otherwise, one's time will be lost and the reactions of his sins will increase. I don't know how the reactions will increase, that we don't know, but because until he commits that same sin again, as an expert physician diagnoses and treats a disease according to its gravity, one should undergo atonement according to the severity of one's sins. Shukdev Goswami is suggesting an alternative method for to get out of hellish life, and he is talking about atonement, just to test Parikshit Maharaj, to see if he is really he's really going to. Sometimes Prabhupada would also take opposing sides, and he would argue from a Mayavadi point of view, just to see how much their disciples have understood the philosophy. And so like that he would argue. So here, even Narad Muni was testing Dhruva Maharaj. And in that purport, Prabhupada says one should test, the spiritual master should test the disciple, how serious the disciple is before giving initiation. How determined that person is before giving initiation. How much they are committed to. So, okay, so then here it is said purport. Dharma Shastras like Manu Samhita prescribe that a man who has committed murder should be hanged and his own life sacrificed in atonement. Previously, this system was followed all over the world, but since people are becoming atheists, they are stopping capital punishment. So Prabhupada is advocate of capital punishment. He's saying, according to Dharma Shastras like Manu Samhita, life for a life. So not only human life, but even animals. Like in that past time, we see Parikshit Maharaj was going to kill Kali for beating the cow or the bull, like that. So by that, and from that point of view, everybody needs to be hanged, right? Because everybody is eating meat mostly in this. So you have taken a life, so you get life punishment. So that's how it should be. But then Nityananda Prabhu said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you have to kill, then you have to kill everybody in this Kali Yuga, because everybody is fallen in this Kali Yuga. So, but we have come to kill the demoniac mentality. So by chanting Hare Krishna, the demonic mentality is killed. The demon in the heart is killed. That's the Shastra. This is not wise. Herein it is said that the physician who knows how to diagnose a disease prescribes medicine accordingly. If the disease is very serious, the medicine must be strong. Yeah, sometimes you have to admit a patient in ICU because it's a very serious situation. The weight of a murderer's sin is very great. And therefore, according to Manu Samhita, a murderer must be killed. By killing a murderer, the government shows mercy to him, because if a murderer is not killed in this life, he will be killed and forced to suffer many times in the future lives. Since people do not know about the next life and intricate workings of nature, they manufacture their own laws, but they should properly consult the established injunctions of the Shastras and act accordingly. We may say sometimes this is not compassionate, right? So is Prabhupada advocating no compassion? If the person is repenting and if he is saying that I will not do this again, then there should be compassion. In India, even today, the Hindu community often takes advice from expert scholars regarding how to counteract sinful activities. In Christianity also there is process of confession and atonement. Therefore, atonement is required, and atonement must be undergone according to the gravity of one's sinful acts. Okay, so that's what he's saying, that one should atone for one's sins before death comes. Otherwise, one will have to suffer. If you atone, then there is no suffering. So, any comments on this verse? Like to say anything? Okay, read the next verse. Shri Raja Uvacha Drishta Shrutabhyam Yat Papam. This is quoted in Nectar of Instruction. This verse is quoted in Nectar of Instruction, verse number 1. So Parikshit Maharaj is responding now. Raja Uvacha. Drishta means he has seen. Shrutabhyam, he has heard. Yat Papam, he has heard this is bad. This is pap. And he knows. Janan api atmano ahitam. He knows it's not good for me. Karoti bhuyo vivasha. But does it because he is vivash, he is helpless. Prayaschitam atho katham. He says, what is the use of prayaschitta? Because again and again, then he will say, kunjara sochavat. Like it's like an elephant taking bath in the next verse. That's the analogy he gives. So what is the use of prayaschitta? Because he knows, he has seen, he has heard, but still he does. It's like which verse in Bhagavad Gita it reminds you of? That where
अपि चेत्सु दुराचार
no, like yes, he knows, but he is still acting.
अथकेन प्रयत्तं पापं चेत् अनिच्छन्नपि वाष्णु बलादिव नियोजित.
So knowing is not enough. Yeah, knowing is not enough. You have to have realization. Right? Knowing is not going to. Knowing is first step, but knowing, just knowing, is not theoretical knowledge is not going to help. To actually implement, you need like actual realization and spiritual strength. But if we hear again and again, then also it becomes like it goes into the heart. So, like that, they are saying. So, Maharaj Parikshit said, one may know that sinful activity is injurious for him because he actually sees that a criminal is punished by the government and rebuked by people in general. And because he hears from scriptures and learned scholars that one is thrown into hellish conditions in the next life for committing sinful acts. Nevertheless, in spite of such knowledge, one is forced to commit sins again and again, even after performing acts of atonement. Therefore, what is the value of such atonement? Okay, so in some religious sects, a sinful man goes to a priest to confess his sinful acts and pay a fine. But then he again commits the same sins and returns to confess them again. This is the practice of a professional sinner. So he does it deliberately. He just thinks that it's just a mechanism to become free from sins. It's just like a machine. They use all these things as a machine just to get what they want. So that won't work. That's a professional sinner. Parikshit Maharaj's observations indicate that even 5,000 years ago, it was the practice of criminals to atone for their crimes, but then commit the same crimes again as if forced to do so. Therefore, owing to his practical experience, Parikshit Maharaj saw that the process of repeatedly sinning and atoning is pointless. Regardless of how many times he is punished, one who is attached to sense enjoyment will commit sinful acts again and again until he is trained to refrain from enjoying his senses. So again, training is there here, Prabhupada says, until he is trained. So training is like Krishna also says, you have to train your mind, right? Abhyas. Abhyas means practice, means training. And vairagya. The word vivasha is used here, indicating that even one who does not want to commit sinful acts will be forced to do so by habit. This word vivasha also comes in apanna sanskritim goram and apanna
गन्नाम विवतो ग्रहण तथा शुद्धो एवं यद बिभेति स्वयं.
Vivash means helpless, right? We are vivash against Maya. Maya is very powerful, and the Jiva is helpless, kind of, because of his conditioning. Of course, Prabhupada did say, why What did he say? Why Maya is so strong? Because
Maya is not strong. Your purpose is not
your
strong.
purpose is not strong. Yeah. So our determination is weak. And why determination is weak? Because we don't have taste. And why taste is not there? Because all the anarthas are there in the heart. After anartha nivritti comes nishtha, right? So anartha nivritti has not happened. So nishtha is not there, determination. Like, I mean, everybody's at different levels. So I'm not saying that it applies to everybody, but anartha nivritti happens, then nishtha will come. More anartha nivritti, more nishtha will come. So if anartha nivritti has not happened, then all this. So there is no consistency, right? In our sadhana, in our devotional service. There may not be, I'm saying. So some days are good, some days are bad, some days we are chanting nicely, some days our mind is not there at all, like that. So the consistency is not there. Like so because of the anarthas, and we are not completely convinced about the goal of life, taste is not there, conviction is not there. So all these things, for that reason we may not have, and we think other things are so much important in this world to do, so we give more priority to that than spiritual life. Of course everything can be connected to spiritual life, right? So there is always there, you can dovetail your work in everything in Krishna's service, but to realize that everything is temporary, right? It's all going to end one day, today or tomorrow, right? It's all going to, I'm not going to be in this, should actually inspire you to seeing the bigger picture always. So you don't get excited about some temporary thing, or you don't get depressed about some temporary thing. So you can become steady in consistently. That's the Brahma Bhuta platform. To come to that Brahma Bhuta platform, you have to chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. So we don't feel all this. Our emotions are going this way and that way, right? Always excitement, and then it goes down, and then it's like a roller coaster ride. So this has nothing to do with our actual happiness, like the spiritual position. So of course, if they are in relation to spiritual life, then it's good. I didn't chant my rounds today good nicely, so I'm feeling bad. Yeah, that's good. I'm feeling some attachment to Krishna. I'm feeling some happiness. So it's good. That's good. But all the other emotions are all like on the mental platform, bodily platform, which come and go, right? It keeps changing all the time. Like they say, what do we say? I cannot live without you, and then I can't live with you. So it's like all the emotions have changed, completely changed, 180-degree apart, like that. So it keeps changing in this world. So the word vivasha is used here in indicating that even one who does not want to commit sinful acts will be forced to do so by habit. So we are on the mental platform. Mano rathena sati dhavato bahi. Right? It is described in the Yasyasti bhaktir bhagvatya kinchana sarve gunesh tatra samasate sura harava kuto harava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathena sati dhavato bahi. So word vivash is used. So we are helpless against our all these ups and downs of our mood swings. We call it mood swings or whatever. And then we think that that is human. Yeah, that is human. Yes, but if the emotions are in relation to this material, the body and this, then all they are misplaced. Like we have that book by Radheshyam Prabhu. It's called little book, Misdirected Love. I gave one or two to some of them at Confest. It says Misdirected Love. So emotions are invested in matter instead of spirit. We are identifying ourselves with matter, and all the emotions are invested in matter. And matter is always changing, right? So the material world is always changing. So our emotions go also through this ups and downs. Today India has won the match. Tomorrow India has lost. Next day India has won. cricket match. Then my emotions will be at a very high. India has won the World Cup. I'll be the next time India loses. So we like all this. We think, yeah, because we want variety. Ultimately, we don't. Sometimes people even say that unless you experience distress, how can you experience happiness? You have to go through distress. So distress is good because to experience happiness, I have to go through distress. So that is what we say. The happiness is absence of misery. So like that. So the word vivasha is used here in indicating that even one who does not want to commit sinful acts will be forced to do so by habit. Parikshit Maharaj therefore considered the process of atonement to have little value for saving one from sinful acts. In the following verse, he further explains his rejection of this process. Okay, so any comments? So I was hearing that. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, crime. They do the crime and then they're punished.
Hmm.
Even though there is suffering in the punishment, still that suffering cannot purify somebody. That's what this verse is saying.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because he gets punishment and then he comes back and does the same thing. Unless there is a higher taste. Just,
Yeah, like habitual thieves, right? They go to the jail, then they come out, then again steal, then again they go to jail. Many times they've been in jail. They've done petty crimes, so they go to jail, then they're released, then they again go back to the jail. So like that, it's also like so with our life also. Maybe we didn't go to jail; we are already in the jail of material existence.
mm.
So like the
But
child prays, "Oh Krishna, let me out! I will not do this again. I will never enter another room again." And then again he does the same thing. How many times we have done that? So many times. So many wombs we have gone through, right? So same thing again and again. Of course, we don't
पुनः
remember our nature.
पुनः पुनः चर्विता चरणानि.
Yeah, puna punascharvita char. Again and again, again and again, same thing.
What is that Shankaracharya verse?
Punarapi
Punarapi
jana,
janani,
punarapi.
punarapi maran, punarapi janani jatareshan.
Iha sansare bahu dushtare, kripaya apare pahi murari.
Mm.
Oh Murari, please show your kripa. I have been kicked from one womb to the next, right? We are like a football. We are kicked around in this material. Brahmanda Brahmite, Brahman. Brahman means we are kicked around. Sometimes the football is high, sometimes football is low. Right? In India, the football we play, right? I don't know here, but we kick, it goes high, then it goes down. Then somebody kicks it, again it goes high. Means you go to heavenly planet, then you come down. In the middle, then you go down. Then somebody again kicks you. So according to a karma, we are like just rotating in this, and we are getting this mind and body conditioned by our past. So when we rise above all this bodily and mental, come to the spiritual platform. That's actually, and to come to that, Krishna says, "Mam cha yavya bicharena bhakti yogena sevate sa gunan samati etan brahma bhuyaya kalpate." If you engage in my service, then that you can come out. It's, so yeah, okay. So the next verse, text 10. क्वचिन्निवर्तते भद्रात् क्वचिच्चरति तत्पुनः प्रायश्चितम अथो अपार्थम मन्ये kunjara शौचवत्. Sometimes one who is very alert so as not to commit sinful acts is victimized by sinful life again. I therefore consider this process of repeated sinning and atoning to be useless. It is like the bathing of an elephant, for an elephant cleanses itself by taking a full bath, but it then throws dust over its head and body as soon as it returns to the land. So what is the use? The elephant maybe have been in the lake for 2 hours, cleansed the body very nicely. Then he comes on the shore and with his trunk, like he picks up the sand and then sprays all over his body. What is the use of taking the bath? That's what he's saying. When Maharaj Parikshit inquired how a human being could free himself from sinful activities so as not to be forced to go to hellish planetary systems after death, Shukdev Goswami answered the process of counteracting sinful life is atonement. In this way, Shukdev Goswami tested the intelligence of Maharaj Parikshit, who passed the examination, by refusing to accept this process as genuine. This is not a very good way to clean the heart. Now, Parikshit, so he wants to like make complete solution, not like this stopgap solution, right? We say patchwork. Now, Parikshit Maharaj is expecting another answer from his spiritual master, Shukdev Goswami. So, modern civilization is a patchwork of activities to forget the perpetual miseries of material existence. Prabhupada says that. It's a patchwork of activities. So, we are doing all patchwork. Sometimes our leg breaks, then we patch it up. Then sometimes our hand breaks, then we patch it up. Then some back breaks, we patch it up. So, it's like that. And patching all the time. We have to, I mean, I'm just saying. But what I'm saying is about material life. We are trying to adjust in this way, that way, this way, that way, that way. But it never gets adjusted because something else happens. It's like you have a sponge. If you press on one side, other side bulges. If you press that side, the other side bulges. So something is always amiss. Right? If you do something here, then something else will happen. Like material solution to material problems, then you find, oh, there is another problem now. And you try to solve that problem, and then other side problem comes. So it is always constantly going on like that. Now I have no financial problem. No, my health is failing. My health became better. I lost my job. I lost my job. Now some I have relationship problem. I have relationship problem. That's why Prabhupada says this Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik, Adi Devik. Miseries are constantly going on. Now I got cough, right? So so it's like that. Some people may not have that. Of course, they have relatively good karma. So if you have good karma, then you don't have this kind of situation in heavenly planets and other. Here also, if some people have good karma, they have relatively good life. But that good karma also makes you attached because you have a lot of money and a lot of nice relationships, and you become attached. And you have a good job, high-paying job, nice house. Then you become attached to that situation. Then you don't see the impending death that is coming up, and the next life is coming up, and all that, because you become engrossed in that happy situation. That's why mode of goodness is also very, it binds you to a sense of happiness in this material world. So good karma can be detrimental to surrendering to Krishna. So, well, if you have nice things going always, then okay, we can now hear some bhajan.
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay, so this is the Shuddha Bhakatachara.
शुद्ध भक्ता चरण रेणु भजन अनुकूल भक्त सेवा परम सिद्धि प्रेमलती करमूला माधवती थी भक्ति जननी जेतने पालन कोरी कृष्ण बसती बसती बोली परमादर बोरी गौर हमारा जे सब स्थाने करोलो ब्रह्मण रंगे से सब स्थाना है रे बोआमी प्रणीय भक्ता संगे शुद्ध भक्ता चरण रेणु भजन अनुकूला मृदंगावाद्य शुनितमाना अब सरसादा जाचे गौर विहिता कीर्तन शुनि आनंद हृदय नाचे शुद्ध भक्ता चरण रेणु भजनानुकूला जुगल मूर्ति देखिया मोरा परमानंद होया प्रसाद सेवा करते होया सकल प्रपंच जाया जे दिन गृहे भजन देखी गृह ते गोलक भाया चरण सिधु देखिया गंगा सुख ससीमा पाया शुद्ध भक्ता चरण रेणु भजन अनुकूला तुलसी देखी जुराया प्राणा माधव तोषनी जानी गौर प्रिया शाक सेवनी जीवन सार्थक मानी भक्ति विनोदा कृष्ण भजने अनुकूल पाया जहा प्रति दिवसे परम सुखे स्वीकार कोर यथा शुद्ध भक्ता चरण रेणु भजन अनुकूला भक्त सेवा परम सिद्धि प्रेमलती करमूला. Translation: The dust of the lotus feet of pure devotees, enthusiastic devotional service, and service to the pure devotees of the highest order are the roots of the creeper of devotion. The holy days like Ekadashi and Janmashtami are the mother of devotion for those devotees who respect them. Let the holy places of Krishna's pastimes be my places of worship and bless me. May I always visit all the holy places associated with the Leela of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees. When I hear the sound of mridanga in my heart, I always desire to join in kirtan. And when I hear the bona fide songs describing Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, my heart dances in ecstasy. Whenever I see the transcendental Sri Vigrahas of Radha and Krishna, I am in bliss. For by taking their lordship's prasad, we can conquer over the material elements. One day, while performing devotional practices, I saw my house transformed into Golok Vrindavan. When I take the Charnamrit of the deity, I see the holy Ganges waters that come from the feet of Lord Vishnu, and my bliss knows no bounds. By seeing the Tulsi tree, my heart feels joy, and Lord Madhav is also satisfied. When I eat the prasad offered by Lord Chaitanya, favored by Lord Chaitanya, it is a new life's experience. Lord Chaitanya was very fond of a green vegetable preparation called shak. And there is another song in this book that tells of the amazing effects of this type of prasad. Bhakti Vinod concludes by saying, whosoever attains the stage of enthusiasm for these devotional practices will be supremely blissful wherever he may be. So, as Nectar of Instruction says, Utsaha Nishchaya Dhairyat Tat Tat Karma Pravartanat Sanga Tyagat Satovrate Sadbir Bhaktir Prasidati. We have to be very enthusiastic. Utsaha. Nishchayat means confidence and determination. And Dhairyat means patience. Tat Tat Karma Pravartanat, following all the scriptural principles. Sanga Tyagat, giving up the association of non-devotees. Satovrite, always being in the association of devotees following in their footsteps. Then our devotional service will increase very much. Sadbhir Bhakti Prasidati. So we should be very enthusiastic. Whatever service we do, we should be very enthusiastic, knowing that this is Krishna's mercy that has come about to me. It is very rare to get a human birth, and more rare than getting a human birth is getting the association of devotees, and even more rare is getting the opportunity to serve the devotees and do service to Krishna. So, service to pure devotees is the highest, and it is a root of devotion. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mool Hoy Sadhu Sanga. Krishna Prema Janmete Ho Punya Mukha Anga. The root cause of devotional service is the association of devotees, enthusiastic devotees. And then when the holy days come, like Ekadashi, Janmashtami, or any of the other days, we have so many on our calendar. We should utilize those days to increase our sadhana, to do a little more austerity and more service. Then we get blessed because Ekadashi or other days also, they are Bhakti Janani. They are the mother of devotion. And we should always be eager to visit all holy places and the dhams, or at least we should mentally always stay in the dham. We should be eager. In that verse also, right? Shanti ravyartha kalatvam virakti manashut. Asha banda samutkantha naam gane sadaruchi. Preeti stad vasati sthale. Always having desire to stay in the dhams. Um, And when we are in Kirtan, we should be feeling so much joy. So many people don't, get this opportunity to come to the temple. Even if they want to, they may not be having the opportunity. The temple may not be close by, or they may not have proper health. So many reasons can be there for somebody to not be able to come to the temple. So but if somebody is able to come to the temple, participate in kirtan, they should be so joyful and so enthusiastic. Oh, Krishna has given me a human body, he has given me association of devotees, he has given me legs so I can dance in kirtan. Yeah, I think one devotee I met in New Vrindavan, she was saying that, now I have so much pain in my knees that I cannot dance. So somebody who's able to dance should be so joyful. Krishna is giving me ability to dance, dance in ecstasy. And when we see the Sri Vigrahas, the deities of Radha and Krishna, we should be full of bliss. Like I'm seeing Radha and Krishna face to face. And when we get to eat prasad is also a very great opportunity that we get every time we are able to eat prasad. We should think it is Krishna himself, right? Prasad is not different from Krishna. And by eating this prasad, I will get bhakti. I will get bhakti automatically. So we should eat with that consciousness. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying that when I perform devotional service practices with so much enthusiasm, I see that my house has turned into Golok Vrindavan. For that devotee, Vasudeva, no, what is that? The whole world turned into a Vaikuntha, right? What is
Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam.
Vasudeva Kutumbakam? Yeah. No, the whole world is my family. That's the other thing. What is that? Uh, the whole world turns into Vaikuntha. What's the term for that?
Sarve Sukhino Bhavantu.
No, that's like everybody should be happy. Uh,
Jivan Mukta Uchyate, I don't know. It's liberated.
no. Okay, well, there's a term for that. Um, yeah, for them, wherever they are living, they are in Golok Vrindavan. And when they take the Charanamrit of the deities, it's so very great opportunity to drink Charanamrit. They say that whoever drinks Charanamrit will not have accidental death, right? Okay, and then when I see the Tulsi plant, when I am able to water the Tulsi plant, Tulsi is non different from Vrinda Devi, and wherever Tulsi is, Vrindavan is there. So, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that whoever does devotional service with this enthusiasm, surely he will become blissful. Um,
Yes.
right, he will become very joyful. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. Na shochati na kakshi. Yes, Prabhu. Would you like to add something?
No, I was remembering that verse from Uddhav where he says that by
Yeah,
taking your remnants,
remnants.
you'll
Yeah.
conquer over this Maya. This is the verse.
Mhm.
Tvayo Tvayopabhukta Shraggandha Vaso Lankara Charchitaha Uchishta Bhojino Dasas Tava Mayam Jaye Mahi. Tvaya means by you. Upabhukta already enjoyed. Whatever is already enjoyed by you. Shrug, the garlands. Gandha, the fragrances. Vasaha, the garments. Alankar, ornaments. Charchitaha, adorned. Uchishta Bhojino Dasas. So, Uchishta is the remnants. And Bhojino, to honor that remnants, eat the remnants. Says, Tava Mayam Jay Mahi. Your Maya we can conquer simply by decorating ourselves with the garlands, fragrant oils, clothes, and ornaments that you have already enjoyed. And by eating the remnants of your meals, your servants will indeed conquer your enemies. So we have to eat also in that consciousness, that prasadam consciousness, not material consciousness. Whether it's like this, it's like that. I think that's the ultimately, because whatever seva, it's prasad seva we do in whatever consciousness. That's how we get the result according to that. Of course, it will always have effect because it is prasad. But how you chant the holy name also, that's also important. Similarly with prasadam. Yeah. Okay. So.
Hmm. Yeah, I want, there was Mahatma Das Prabhu was saying in his affirmation. Let
Mhm.
me read that. Just as Krishna personally manifests to each gopi in the Ras dance, Krishna is personally manifesting to me in the holy names. The name I chant is my personal deity in the form of sound, and I worship this deity by chanting with love. So, in this explanation, he's saying that everybody is chanting. So, when we devotees get together and they're chanting, it's like everybody is participating in ras dance. If we chant with a group of devotees, in one sense, it's like a ras dance, in that everyone is sitting with their own Krishna. But everyone's experience of Krishna is not the same. Some may be experiencing swimming in an ocean of nectar, while others may be struggling to continue chanting. This depends on our purity, but it also greatly depends on the effort and devotion. So, ye yatha mam prapadyante. As we surrender, Krishna will reciprocate. Often, the feeling of boredom stems from being disconnected emotionally from the holy name. So, he's saying that it is like making an offering to the deities without devotion. If we don't offer with devotion, then obviously we won't feel devotion. When we eat prasad, we would not see any devotion in that. So if we simply put in little devotion and surrender to our chanting, our experience of holy names would be sweet and relishable. So what we put in is what we get, as you were saying, right? With the prasad, also with the consciousness that we are offering to Krishna. Hmm, that same devotion will be embedded within the prasad, and when we eat prasad, automatically all bhakti will be, developed within our heart.
Yes. Yeah. They say garbage in, garbage out. But of course, it is not garbage because it always has potency. Devotional service always has potency. But yeah, that's how.
Right. But they also say Bahu Janma Karedi Shravan. You can be chanting for many, many lifetimes if you're not chanting with devotion, emotions, and you'll not get love for Krishna. It's up to you whether how fast you want to.
That's
That's
our
why I was,
endeavor. Yeah, that's our
yeah,
endeavor.
that's what I was remembering, that one should accelerate his devotional service by increasing the quantity and quality of devotional service, because we don't have much time left. Ayur Harativa person, that verse, right? Who knows? People are getting heart attacks. So many people I hear, even online, some actress or uh, suddenly they got a heart attack without any prior medical condition. So we don't know how much time we have left. So whatever devotion we do, they should accelerate our devotion. We should do more and more every day. It should keep on increasing.
Correct. Anybody else has any comments? Maybe Preeti like to say something. Prachi.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. What Sugandha said, it is true about the time. Like we are all into time constraint, and I remembered this because my mama, like my maternal uncle, he passed away at the age of 42 while he was having dinner with his family on the dining table. There was no disease, there was no stress, there was like no problem, and he was an IIT and he very very rich also. Like everything. He had a son at that point of time. He was like 7, 8 years old, and now his son has grown up. He also went into IIT, did well, but they never had this time of chanting or talking about Lord. Like they were having dinner, and on the last grain of rice, his soul left the body. He was looking down at the plate. That's how his body remained, like a statue. It was like unimaginable. And that can come anyhow, anytime. So it's always better to always keep chanting the names of Lord Krishna.
That in Kevalashtakam we say that, right? That it can come at any time. Maybe we may be in our youth or in our old age. There is a verse like that, isn't it?
Vishwas se,
Nahi
Vishwas.
Vishwas. Shri Sachi Vishwas. So, yeah,
I
if
have
we
a
have that,
question.
huh?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So, I mean, different people go away at different ages, right? Depending on whatever the past
Yeah.
might have been. What about the miscarriages? Do we know, or do we have any idea of, like, is that a good thing that they left within the womb itself? I mean, I don't know at what age they say, like maybe 5 months they say the actual life starts.
Hmm.
I mean, the cells are dividing, so I don't know how to explain that if there is no life because it's still an active process
No,
from the
it's
day.
suffering. It may be like after 7 months or whatever, whenever the miscarriage happens, but maybe the child, we don't know how, whether the child is going back home, back to Godhead, or is going to another life, into another womb. He's just getting the result of his karma. That's why, and the mother is also getting the reactions of some karma. We don't know exactly what is happening. Of course, the karma is involved because generally the mother will feel distressed when she will have a miscarriage,
Yeah,
right?
definitely for the mother. I'm not sure if there is any difference in being the womb of an animal versus, maybe the experiences in wombs are different. That you are maybe 11
Yes.
weeks into mother versus an animal, and then you go away. I don't know if that's good for bad. Yeah, but that was a thought of
But
you.
the
The life
yeah,
starts
like
from the time conception happens, because the cell division
correct.
cannot happen without the active soul within it. So Prabhupada says, yeah, that's where the life begins, when the sperm
From
and
day
the
one,
ovum,
the life,
yeah, unite, and
yeah,
then
the life
the
begins from
child in the
day one.
womb can hear everything what the mother is saying, what is happening. So the
Correct.
till the time that the child is alive in the womb, they can hear the Hare Krishna Kirtan, they can hear everything, right? So if the mother is doing that devotional process, then the child is getting benefited in a human
So,
soul, not in an animal soul, right? So that's a difference.
so actually, there is a book called as Kalindi, where she's a devotee of Lord, and how she comes into Guru Parampara and everything. Like her whole life is mentioned. She marries a guy. She marries a nice person, a kind-hearted man, and he's also a very like big time devotee. He's into devotion since childhood. So they both meet near her house only, and they have known each other, and then they get married. And this devotee, she miscarriages children, and since that book is all about spirituality and devotion, I can say that when Kalindi miscarriages the child, she and her husband, they say that the child went away without committing any crime after coming into this world. It was the most pious soul, and they have written in the book like that this soul directly goes to the god, like it does not come back to the planet. Third point is, any soul that is in the womb, it is the womb that gives that child the most troubles. Like if you see that there are so many children being born into 8th month, or like the mother delivers the baby, So they say that the child is not able to stay inside the womb because like the world for the baby inside the womb is even more harmful and full of miseries than in the world outside. So that is what it is written in the books also, spiritual books also, and it has been experienced by many mothers also. I am not a mother, I have not been pregnant or anything, but this is what I've read and heard.
I mean, it makes sense because somebody could be miscarried in earlier weeks, in the first 3 months or first trimester, versus somebody is stillborn, meaning they delivered but they were born dead. So the misery, if you compare of one to another, of course, when you miscarry earlier, the soul must have suffered much lesser compared to somebody who's stillborn and went through the entire process of 10 months and then went away.
Could be. I was never pregnant until now, until date today, so I have no idea about it. But my cousin, when she was pregnant, and they decided that let the child finish all its sufferings inside the womb before she comes out into the planet. So they decided that the child will be delivered a little later than the recommended date by the doctor in 2021. And what happened was, when they delayed the delivery, the child inside, she took those, what to say, placenta nerves, and she had coiled those around her neck, kind of committing like a suicide, like how somebody hangs themselves from the ceiling. She that child, that baby, it did that inside the womb, and that's what we saw through sonography and all these things also. So I don't know what humans decide, but since I have never been pregnant, so I don't know about it, but this is what I've heard.
Thank you, everybody, for your inputs. We'll read one more verse. So, Sri Badarayaniruvacha कर्मणा कर्म निर्हारो नहि आत्यंतिका इष्यते अविद्वद अधिकारित्वात् प्रायश्चित्तम विमर्शनम. Shukdev Goswami, the son of Veda Vyas, answered, "My dear king, since acts meant to neutralize impious actions are also fruitive, they will not release one from the tendency to act fruitively." So now he's saying that yes, this will not work, Shukdev Goswami is saying. Persons who subject themselves to the rules and regulations of atonement are not at all intelligent. Indeed, they are in the mode of darkness. Unless one is freed from the mode of ignorance, trying to counteract one action through another is useless because this will not uproot one's desires. Thus, even though one may superficially seem pious, he will undoubtedly be prone to act impiously. Therefore, real atonement is enlightenment in perfect knowledge, Vedanta, by which one understands the supreme absolute truth. Okay, so this is what now Shukdev Goswami is saying, that real atonement is to get spiritual enlightenment. The Guru Shukdev Goswami has examined Parikshit Maharaj, and it appears that the king has passed one phase of the examination by rejecting the process of atonement because it involves fruitive activities. So first he talk about how to neutralize with good activities, bad activities. How can you neutralize with good activities? Now he's talking about the Jnana Marg. Now Shukdev Goswami is suggesting the platform of speculative knowledge, progressing from Karma Kanda to Jnana Kanda. He is proposing Prayashchittam Vimarshanam. Real atonement is full knowledge. Vimarshana, Vimarshana refers to cultivation of speculative knowledge. In Bhagavad Gita, karmis who are lacking in knowledge are compared to asses. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7:15, Namam dushkritino mudha prapadyante naradhama maya aprita jnana asuram bhavam ashritaha. Why they are compared to ass? Because the ass can get grass, but he thinks, unless I work very hard for my master, then I will not get my sustenance. So he works very hard, and there is usually a carrot dangling right in front of the ass like that. So of course we have to work in this world, right? Otherwise, how are we going to get our sustenance? But there are many devotees who have not worked a single day since last 30, 40 years, and Krishna is sustaining them. How they're get now? Somebody may say, well, but how are they getting the? Because somebody is providing them food, somebody is giving them. Yeah, they're thriving on donations of some other people, and that's how they're getting their food. And so like that, yes. So ultimately, Krishna makes arrangement. Whether you work with your intelligence or in the material world and you get money, that is also because of Krishna, or you give up your job and things like that and you take a devotional life, that also Krishna is providing there also. So ultimately Krishna is providing for everybody. The ass, Prabhupada generally gives this example. The ass is working very hard because he thinks that unless I work very hard, then I cannot get grass, which he would get without working hard. But he thinks like that. So that's why sometimes Bhagavatam says, work only enough to maintain your body and soul. So and save time. But you can work and you can use your money for Krishna. Then that is devotional service. Then that's not. But don't work only for establishing a nice material situation and sense gratification, and then without spiritual benefit dying. So that's not good. So in the Ishopanishad it says you can work. Like if you are working for Krishna, you can keep working. There is no stoppage. So Prabhupada writes also there are many members of International Society of for Krishna Consciousness who work very hard in their factories and they use all their earnings for promoting the cause of Krishna consciousness, spreading Krishna consciousness. They are also sannyasis like that. So this is for whom we work. That is the thing. For what is the motive? That's very important. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. Thus, karmis who engage in sinful acts and who do not know the true objective of life are called mudhas, asses. Vimarshan, however, is also explained in Bhagavad Gita 15:15, where Krishna says, Vedesha sarver ahamev vedya. What does Vimarshan mean? Vimarshanam means full knowledge of Vedanta. So, Vedesha sarver ahamev vedya. The purpose of Vedic study is to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one studies Vedanta but merely advances somewhat in speculative knowledge and does not understand the Supreme Lord, one remains the same Muda. Means there is Gyan Kanda, Karma Kanda in Vedas. And if we just remain in that section and don't come to the Upasana Kanda, which is like the worship of the Supreme Lord, then we remain a Muda. That's what Prabhupada is saying. One remains the same Muda as stated in Bhagavad Gita. So then we can say why that section is there in the Vedas. Because some people will not agree. So Vedas cater to all kinds of people. So some people will not agree to take to Krishna consciousness directly. So for them, okay, you want to enjoy sense gratification, then do it in this way, this pious way, and slowly and gradually, you are accepting the Vedas. So now you're accepting some authority. From Nastik, you're becoming Astik. And then slowly and gradually, yeah, you can. When that will not satisfy you, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and then Moksha. When sense gratification proves futile and you've become frustrated, then you look for something else. So, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 7:19, one attains real knowledge when he understands Krishna and surrenders unto him. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate. To become learned and free from material contamination, therefore one should try to understand Krishna, for thus one is immediately liberated from all pious and impious activities and their reactions. Okay.
So the way Prabhupada has written this purport, he is meaning that the Shukdev Goswami is saying Gyan Kanda approach, which he would negate next verse. But in the translation it says that unless one is free from the mode of ignorance. I mean, ignorance is the root cause of all the problems, right? Ignorance that we are material bodies. I mean, thinking that we are material body and we can enjoy separately from Krishna.
We
That
are
we say,
independent of Krishna. Yeah, we are independent.
yeah, the ignorance of the fact that we are spirit souls, part and parcel of Krishna, eternal servants of Krishna. That is the root cause. But the way Prabhupada is saying that, he is saying it's Gyan Kand.
So coming to like maybe Brahman realization or something like that. Jnanis come to the Brahman aspect of the absolute truth, which is not complete because there also they fall down. So
Okay. And the whole world becomes Vaikuntha, Vishwam Purana Sukhayate.
okay, that's the Tridasha Akasha Pushpayate. Kevalyam Narakayate Tridasha Akasha Pushpayate. Right? Then Durdandintriya
काल
Sarva.
पत्नी क्रोध का दम स्थाये थे विश्वम पूर्ण सिखाते विधि महेंद्रादिश्य किटाए.
One who's received a slight trace of the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Then he considers the position of Brahma and Indra to be like insects. Then he considers merging into the impersonal effulgence as hellish. He considers
Heavenly
a-
planets.
as a flower in the sky, or yeah.
And for him, the yogis meditate to perform sense control, but for the devotees, the senses become like serpents without teeth.
And the whole world becomes a happy place. So,
Yat karunya kataksh vaibhavatam tam goram evastama. One who has received even a small glance of the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is a position.
so generally we say dukkhalayam, but if you are in Krishna consciousness, then you become sukhalayam. It becomes a very happy place because Vishwam Purnam Sukhayate. Yeah, it is a very happy place in the sense that you are joyful even in a difficult situation, right? That's why we are distributing this book, Rising Above It All. We should read that book. Means like a lotus is untouched. Padma Patram Ivambasi in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that like a lotus leaf is untouched by the contamination. Similarly, those who are in spiritual they are unaffected by this material. So I was telling many people that how you can be happy even in a very turmoil situation, very stressful situation. So they were saying, yes, yes, I need it. I need this. Because everybody is, I need my consciousness not to be affected by this.
Mhm. Or some people are saying, why are you saying I want to be happy? Do I look sad? I'm already happy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they don't know they are suffering. That is the hardest. You cannot wake up somebody who's pretending to be asleep. When
Because
somebody
we,
understands
yeah.
that this is suffering, then they can take some steps to relieve it.
Because
But if
we take
mm,
this as natural death, old age. This is like, all right, okay. They don't see that like death is coming, old age is coming, disease will happen. This is like a
mm,
suffering.
mm, it's
That's
part of life, they say. Everybody gets it, so I'll get it. It's okay.
like Prabhupada said, right? One Christian priest was describing how hell is like. And he was saying that, or yeah, that hell is very dark, and he was speaking to miners who go down deep inside the earth to mine. So they were not able to connect. Yeah, when we go in mining, also it is dark and maybe damp and like that. And then I think Prabhupada says that there is no newspaper in the hell. So then they were, but then also they said, oh, all your relatives will be there with you. And then they think, yeah, then that must be a happy place because I will have all my relatives and my friends. So it is happy. So something like that. So everybody's suffering. So I'm also part of that. So it's okay. Right? It's not bad because everybody's suffering. Like if we don't have power in our house and we look around neighbor's house and the other house and everybody doesn't have power, oh, it's okay. Then we don't realize. But if we don't if we don't have power and everybody else has power in the house, we feel, oh, why I don't have, right? So that is the human tendency. But everybody is there suffering, so it's okay. Yeah, it's part of life. Yeah. So everybody goes through like this. So, but the yogis, they don't settle for this adulterated happiness. They want like they know, those who know, they don't settle for this kind of mixed bag. That of course everybody has to die in this world, but they don't want this kind of thing. That's why some people say, ah, material life, I cannot, this is not acceptable. Like sometimes you get something inferior quality. You say, no, this, I cannot accept this. Like, this is not. So devotee should be like that. I say, no, no, I cannot accept this. This is like a mixed bag. Why should I go for a mixed bag? I want pure thing. So we have all settled for a mixed bag, right? Some little happiness, then distress, and then death comes, and like that. So we have become complacent and satisfied in that situation. But those who are intelligent, they will say, no, no, I don't want this kind of thing. I want full happiness, eternal happiness, not happiness which comes and goes, and then some distress comes like that. So that is intelligence. But because we have been conditioned like that for so many lifetimes, we think this is how life is. Yeah, this is how it should be. So, and everybody is doing like that. Everybody is doing the same thing, and so everybody is getting beaten up. So it's okay. I can also get beaten up. And even though we are beaten up, sometimes we say it's nice, right? Because we are under the influence of Maya. Like in that circus, there was a line of people, villagers who had gone to a circus, and they were supposed to end. Only one person can go in the circus at one time. So there was a huge line of people going to go into this tent. Prabhupada tells, I think, this story. And then one person goes in the tent, and he has been waiting in the line for such a long time. And then he goes inside the tent, and then there is a man there. He's beating that person who's coming inside to see the circus. He's beating and everything, and then he suffers, and then he comes out. And everybody's asking him, how is the circus? How is the circus? And because he has spent so much time and so much money buying the ticket, he doesn't want to admit now that it's not really a nice thing, you know. So he tells the other, and because he has suffered, he thinks others should also get, you know, why I only got it, the beating, others also should get it. That's a material consciousness, right? If we are suffering, then others should also suffer. Why they are happy, they should also suffer. And because you have done so much endeavor, now you cannot admit that it is a failure. So he tells the other person, oh, it's nice, you should also, you should. And he gets, everybody is doing like that, right? Then everybody comes out. They didn't have such a pleasant experience. But like Prabhupada says, a man has gone through so much difficulty in his life, but he wants his child to go through the same difficulty. You know, it's like he has gone through all the troubles and all the beatings. He doesn't think that there may be an alternative way of life. So that is how it is like programmed in us. Like monotonously we do the same thing. And insanity means to do the same thing over and over again and to expect a different result, which never happens. So we are going through life after life, the same thing, eating, mating, sleeping, defending in different ways, and then again, same thing is happening. Again, we die. Sometimes nicer situation. Again, we go. Again, we get into another species of living. Again, we build our career. We build this and that, which is required, right? I mean, to function in this world, all this is required. But uh, the knowledge of Krishna consciousness is the distinguishing factor for a devotee and non-devotee. So otherwise, yeah, puna punascharvita charvananam. So then we will. Then one says, "What am I doing here? I'm doing the same thing again and again. What am I doing?" Because he sees the bigger picture. Then he says, "What am I doing here? What am I trying again? I tried all this in previous lives also." So Bhagavatam says, right, yeah, this kind of thing you've gotten in so many different species of life. Now you should try. What is that verse? For something that you did not get in other forms of life. There's a verse, right? How does it start? That you should try for something which you didn't get in other forms of life. Tasyaiva heto prayate
प्रयते
tato
ततो न
tal
लभ्यते ब्रह्मताद् उपरि यदा तल्लभ्यते दुःखवादन्यथा सुखं कालेन
sarvatra gabhira rantasara. Yeah,
कालेन सर्वत्र गभीरमस्.
that's what Bhagavatam is saying. Oh foolish person, you should now awaken. Uttishta jagrata prapya varan nibodhata. Uttishta jagrata. Wake up, sleeping soul. How long will you sleep in the lap of the witch called Maya? Jiva jago, jiva jago. Gora Chanda bole. Kota nidra jao Maya pishachi rakul. You can wake up easily if you just like want to wake up, right? But because another thing is we don't want to wake up also. We like our dream like situation. So, yeah, that is also that we say cannot wake up person who is already pretending to sleep. Okay, so we'll hear something.
Prabhuji, just a minute. That Mataji, who was she? She was asking about those questions. For her, I've pasted the link to the book. If she gets an English version, she can maybe read it. So, may I know who it was?
Who it, Komal was asking the question.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the child is suffering. We don't know why the child is suffering in the. I mean, why there is a miscarriage. Of course, it is trouble for the child also, trouble for the mother also. Why it is going through that suffering, we don't know really. Maybe it is karma, and then again, maybe for some months, it is also sad that they did not get the developed consciousness in human form of life outside. Some or they may have developed in their consciousness inside the womb, and they just are going back home, back to God. They had some residual thing left, so they came for some suffering and they went back. Or it may be that it was just the karma. They are going to get into another womb after this life. That soul is going to go to another womb, but they just had to go through the suffering because of their karma, and they were that soul is going to another womb where they will again get another body, right? So we don't know exactly what is the situation. So we can
Hare Krishna.
speculate, but really what has caused it, that we can't say. Okay, like there is also this elephant, right? Five blind men uh, touch an elephant, and they're touching different bodily parts of the elephant. Somebody is touching the trunk, somebody is touching the leg of the elephant, somebody is touching the tail of the elephant. So everybody is getting a different perspective of how the elephant is. But actually, none of them may have the true perspective. So unless Shastra, that's where Shastra comes in. We can think so many things, but yeah, and ultimately Krishna is ultimately he knows what is the situation.
Right. In all situations, taking shelter of the holy name will help. Whatever was bound to happen for that child, things can change if the parents are chanting, doing devotional service. So all we need to care is I'm practicing devotional service, I'm doing my bhakti, my
Correct.
service.
Yeah, that's the only thing we have
My...
in our hand is to whether we can serve Krishna or not. That's the free will. Otherwise, all these things, so many things, we don't cannot figure out. Gahano karmana gatihi. We cannot figure out why things are happening the way they are happening. So, and for devotees it happens. For non-devotees it happens. For devotees it happens. Sometimes it may be to bring that person closer to Krishna. So, like Prabhupada says, a woman goes through labor pain and then she says, oh, I will never have another child. I will never. Now, of course, now with modern science, those things are like eliminated, the labor pain and with all these drugs and whatever, epi, what is it, whatever, the diural or something, they mitigate the pain of childbirth. But I mean, Prabhupada was saying like that, oh, I will never. So maybe Krishna is also teaching us a lesson through this, all this. Whenever mother goes through that thing, she feels like so devastated. Oh, I lost my child. And that may turn her to Krishna. She may think, oh, like Krishna, this is, yes, I understood this nature of this world. And she may turn, the parents may turn, father and mother, they may turn to Krishna. They may give up any hope of having another child because, it's so troublesome. You don't know how the outcome will be. Many times you ask people, so you have two children, would you want to have another child? No, no, no. Two children is enough. This is like, this two children only is like very difficult to raise, right? So, so Krishna makes you go through some experience also in this world. So many things can be there. And yeah, some child may be just going back to Godhead and they are hearing in the womb, the mother is chanting and they are just going to be liberated after this life. So that also can be there. So many ways. Actually, if you don't have a child, then many people are in distress. Oh, I don't have a child, I don't have a child. Chitraketu Maharaj was in distress. I don't have a child, I don't have a child. When he got a child, then he got more distress. The child died. So that also. So Krishna can save you from some trouble also. Right now you are having some distress, but maybe in future so much more distress was going to come. So Krishna removed that. Who knows, like what exactly is the situation? Yeah. Okay, so enough of that. So we can hear. Uh, this we can hear the Gopi Geet discussion. It is nice. There is one verse Amrendra Prabhu was talking about that verse. Did we hear that? How that verse is interpreted by the acharyas. It's nice. He's actually telling Radharani, don't go back. Although Krishna is externally telling that you go back.
Hare
So 1 minute, I'm wrong. I'm signed on as ISKCON Columbus, but I have to sign in as mine. So I'll get the pointer.
I was just thinking before we get.
So here with the sound.
Get into the Gopi Geet, which is also